Hey, everybody, welcome to Horse Talk episode 6 here live on Whatnot and YouTube. Tonight we're joined by the one and only Demetri. One? Is that how you say it, Demetri?
Yeah, it was more like a mocking the system kind of thing, and then it stayed for 3 years, and I can't change it now.
Yeah, for a while I was wondering if it was Demetri like Juan or was it Demetri One?
Yeah,
Uh,
it was. Excuse me. It was Demetri. Number one was just the one because that was the automatic whatnot thing, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put one, and it was just a joke. Now it's just stupid.
awesome, man. Well, look, thanks for joining us tonight and spending some
uh,
time. It's late out
uh,
there in Philly.
Yeah, it's only 1 hour ahead, so it's not a big deal. But I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, I should have hit you up earlier in the week. I knew you were out there. Well, Matt told me he's like, yeah, you might be out there by Demetri. I got there Sunday afternoon, and it was like go 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 until
Hmm.
essentially I went to the airport on Tuesday. But I didn't get to see a whole lot, just that one restaurant, But it seemed like a cool city. I want to go back. I try not to do too much without my wife there too, because I know she'd want to see it too. So it
Yeah.
was all good. But what's Philly like? What's that like?
I lived in Philly my whole life, and there's lots of neighborhoods. So that you have the bad rap for for in sports and whatever, but forget about that. Like any tourist will come here and they love Philly. They love Center City. They love the set like where you were. That's Center City, right?
Yeah.
So there's mad restaurants. It's a food type of city. Um, it's a walkable city. It's like New York where you just walk and walk, and there's always something to do. You got museums up in the art museum area in Fairmount Park. Then you have Center City. Then you have Rittenhouse Square, where all the bougie stuff is. That's where I was back in the day. But dude, it's a great city. Yeah, it is dangerous. That's known. But yeah, it's a great city to walk in, and you can be there for like three days, and I think that will be enough. Max.
Yeah, there seemed like there's a lot to do. We were in a hotel right next to, I wouldn't say right next to, but like right down the street from the Rocky Steps. I know
Hmm.
that's probably an actual museum or something. I just call it the Rocky Steps, but that seemed pretty cool from a distance. Was that area I was in at that restaurant I was telling you about? Was that like a good area? It seemed like a good area, so I was kind of curious. After I left, I was like, was I about to get mugged right there, or was that actually pretty nice?
It's a nice area. Um, just like any other major city, always look, check your six, check your three, look
Yeah.
all over. You always got to look because sometimes you could be safe for like 1 minute, and then it'll be like this one guy a few blocks down. So but overall, I've had two incidents in my whole entire life in Philly. That's it, and that's just walking in the city. Two incidents, and that was just because it was cold as hell. People were hungry, and you have a homeless thing going on. But of course, this times are changing. But Philly's Philly. Um, but if someone falls on the ground, someone's going to pick you up, and that's just how it is.
I have a little bit of a connection to the Eagles in such a way. One of my old bosses, like a million years ago, huge Eagles fan.
Hmm.
Obviously, out here, everybody's a Saints fan.
Yep.
Grew up going to Saints games, and New Orleans is not a very safe place either. So I'm kind
Hmm.
of used to that. And they always talk about high flying Eagles, and then once he was gone, I kept hearing this for like another 10 years following it because we're not Eagles fans down here, not the least. But we don't like we don't like anything that's a bird. Seahawks, Falcons, Eagles. I'm sure there's some other ones. The Cardinals, they're okay. We don't
Mm.
play them very often, but
I'm not a fan of the
yeah,
Cardinals.
yeah,
uh, that's a different story. But like, there's the two Cardinals, right? The Arizona Cardinals that used to be in the Eagles division years ago, right? And then you have the St. Louis Cardinals, which I absolutely hated my whole life because I'm a Phillies fan. So yeah, whew, hated that team. But I always respected Ozzie Smith, the shortstop, great shortstop for baseball. Uh,
dude. Ozzy was the man. I remember watching him. I think I got to see
doing
him live.
backflips or no front flips, but it was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and then but just he was a shortstop, wasn't he? Was that his position or was he third
Yeah,
base? I think.
Yeah, he was a
probably.
shortstop.
Yeah, I remember that, and that was cool, man. We always get these cardinals that fly up to our windowsill in the kitchen, and there's always a male and there's always a female. And since my little one was born, we always said, "Hey, that's Lewis in Arizona." So we actually
Mhm.
named the Cardinals Lewis in Arizona after the St. Louis Cardinals and Arizona Cardinals. So it's funny that you brought that up because it kind of doesn't. I have a shirt that's actually an NFL shirt with the Cardinal on it, and I walk
Mhm.
around with it sometimes, and people are like, "I didn't know you were a Cardinals fan." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. We just like the birds. It has nothing to do with the actual NFL team."
Yeah, because a lot of people like because they're like the top two or three teams in the whole entire major league with the most World Series wins. You got the A's, you got the Cardinals, and you got the Yankees. Those three teams everybody hated. Well, the A's not so much anymore. But when they were the Philadelphia A's, now over 100 years ago,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, like those three teams, they have the most World Series wins. So I get it. And from a Phillies fan, two World Series championships, I'm like, I only saw one, and that was the best day of my life when I saw that one World Series because I dreamed of that for many years because the Phillies sucked for years, and growing up because like the last 15, 20 years they were playoff contenders and but yeah, when they won that one, whew, I was so happy, so happy.
yeah. I saw a comment about Ozzy, and so obviously you're tied to music, right? So how
Mhm.
are you tied to music? I've heard a little bit, but I've never heard the story.
Uh, well, with music, okay, so I'll start from the beginning, like how I started. Like, so I started playing guitar in '94, so I was 12 years old when I started playing. Then I started getting a little better. I had lessons. I only had lessons for 6 months. I got like the main stuff, like the chords, the the scales, the arpeggios, all that stuff that like all the pentatonic scales, especially for being a metal player, blues player. It was always blues and blues, metal, punk. But like when I was a teenager, I was all punk. It was straight punk, like everything. But as time went on, I was starting to get like people were noticing I was getting better. Of course, as a musician, artist with the photography stuff, but like and drawing too. But when I started, man, like had a couple bands, did a couple punk bands, a couple metal bands, and then I started getting to the point where my final band was called Tyrant. I didn't like the name, but I wrote some sick ass riffs. So as long I saw the crowd doing their thing, that's what made it. But in 2000, late 2000, 2001, I actually played a show with Lamb of God and a couple other like Under Oath. Did a couple, but that was like in the beginning. No one even knew these people because like Lamb of God back then was just Palace Burn, or no, no, not Burn the Priest. My fault. Um, so like that band, like they weren't even known yet. So there was a few bands I had. I was playing like a lot of clubs and everything, but then uh, I working at my parents' restaurant since I was 12 years old, and in that time frame, I had to work, and I couldn't really leave, and I left a couple times. So I was in a hard spot, and I was in school, so it was like this whole mess of things. But then, eventually, my last band was like in '05, and I think that was pretty much it. With bands, I played with other people. I did some blues projects and recorded a few things, but you know, um, that's that. And that's how I stayed in the music stuff. The music scene for me was because I was doing photography and I was photographing the bands.
Mm.
Again, like Under Oath, No Effects, Bad Religion. So all these bands I photographed and they were published at the time. So that's what I did. Um, but yes, and I've had a career with photography ever since. So over 20 years, I've been doing it. But now it's more real estate and commercial stuff where more
Man,
money comes in.
that's wild. I would be so nervous to play in front of somebody. Well, I say that I play a little bit in front of people at work just because they egg me on a little bit. They
Hmm.
came in there today and they're like, "You playing Ozzy?" I'm like, "I don't know any Ozzy, but we can try." So I was trying
Get the
Mama
tabs out.
coming. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the software I use is just tabs going across the screen, So
Right.
um, I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun, man. Is what's it like playing live in front of people and stuff, man? Can you
Um,
describe that? Because I can't even imagine.
Well, playing like, well, you know what? I'll tell you the little story. When I was a kid, being Greek, we had in church. We had to recite like poems, like Greek poems and stuff like that. So in church, I was petrified to like memorize this whole entire poem in Greek and like say that in front of a whole entire church. Now it was a big church because like the church is in Center City, but it's like the most like the historic one. It's like it could fit like 200 people,
Right.
um, or I don't even know. It's a lot. Um, but I was like so nervous. So like like from when I was a kid, probably like 9 to like 13, I started getting used to it and performing in front of people or having that public even in college I kind of got better with that stuff like public speaking and stuff like that but um, just playing in front of people constantly in high school. I used to bring my guitar all the time. Different time now. I don't think you can even bring anything, but I used to bring my guitar all the time. I used to bring the acoustic. I still have my acoustics in there, and I've had that for years. It's just a Fender acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
but it sounds great.
Oh yeah.
Can't I?
Well, I know Thrifton wants to hear it at some point, so won't put you on the spot right now. But
No.
feel feel free.
we got to
Uh,
set it up
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. We got to take
especially for
requests.
sound, for
Yeah,
sound that has to be clean. That's
yeah.
sound.
At least enough tips to get it going, right?
Yep.
Well, what are you? So you playing a Fender acoustic? What's like your go-to guitar?
The go-to write is the acoustic guitar because that way, or I have the flamenco guitar. That's beautiful. But I'm mostly just write on the acoustic, and then I transfer everything to the electric. So, because like that way, you can hear the notes, you can practice better, you can gain more finger strength or dexterity in your wrist, and just everything. So it kind of gets me warmed up. So I play that, but then when I hit the electric, then I'm ripping or shredding. But that's what I do. But that's my go-to. So I play the acoustic, and then I'll because I have a Fender American Telly from the mod shop, which I got brand new during the pandemic. I
Yeah,
when I got it sent in, had that paint thinner smell. I was like, ooh. But I was like, oh man, look at that. That's something I kind of customized from the mod shop. So beautiful Telecaster, but I'm a super Strat kind of person, like
okay.
the Schecter you had that you showed me a while back, but you got rid of. But
Yeah,
that one, that like I'm that kind of player. I like the super Strat or Stratocaster style the most, like Ibanez's. So I play.
so we were talking about guitars there. You were talking about the Super Strat and the acoustic. Yeah, man, I did trade the Schecter. I traded it for like 20 something N64 games and some other stuff. But there were some good ones in there.
Yeah.
Couple it had they had the Bomberman 2 was in that lot, as well as Conkers and a
Hmm.
few other things. Now, look, I bought the guitar to play around with it, and then I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I'm just going to keep it."
Hmm.
Uh, and then somebody's like, "I want that guitar." I was like, "Oh, all right. Well, I guess you're getting the guitar." So,
Yeah.
uh, nonetheless, anyway, I pulled my Strat out of the case.
Hmm.
I Those guitars were back here forever before the game cabin became the cabin, but we didn't keep the air conditioning like running all the time and things like that. I did when the guitars were back here, but I was like, man, nobody used the cabin, so I don't want to keep the AC running all the time. But
Hmm.
so that's how they ended up in the house, and then now they're back. Well, I say they're back. My Les Paul is still in the house. It hasn't seen the light of day, man. So I don't play it much. It's the 25th anniversary one. It's really nice. I need to send you a picture of it. I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
So
Which kind of Les Paul though? Because there's so many.
it's uh it's a very standard one. I think it's actually, is that what it's called? The standard, I think. Is that
Yeah,
one of them?
they have the American Les Paul standard.
Yep.
Um, it depends because there's so many like price points with the Les Paul. So you can get a Les Paul, American Les Paul. Well, I haven't looked at them in a long time, but back then it used to be like 1,400 and up, like to
Yep.
the, because like they can cost 10,000, they can cost 10 G's, for a Les Paul, which is to me doesn't make sense. But because I play 7 string too for my metal fans, so I like to do that.
Yeah,
So
mine's it's the American Standard, I believe, is what it is. I don't play it much. I prefer the Strat over the Les Paul. If I'm looking at them though, I prefer the Les Paul. It's a awesome looking guitar. It's heavy as hell,
mhm.
but it's like a dark blue, really really beautiful. And it sounds great.
Yeah.
I just like to play melody stuff on the Strat. I just like that really clean
Mhm.
sound, very simple and just doodle around, I guess,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because like the Les Paul, you have like that, you got that warm sounding like umph because it has the humbuckers. Then you got the Strat that you can have that clean sound. Then like if you're into Pink Floyd, play that because what's it called? He played damn David Gilmour. Couldn't think of his name. David Gilmour. He plays a Strat, but he has like humbuckers in the single coil. So they're called EMG humbuckers, but they're just in a single coil format. But
Yeah. On
pretty
my
good.
Strat, I actually did humbuckers on my Strat. I got one set of humbuckers and then two single coils on it.
Hmm.
Just why not, right?
I
So
mean,
I played a bunch of Schecters before I even got the Strat, so I was always used to EMGs and things like that. And I was like, man, it was an option. I was like, I've never even seen one. What do they call it? It's an HSS, I think is what they call it.
yeah, if
Um,
it's humbucker single single or humbucker
yeah,
single,
I
you
was like,
know,
I would do that. I was like, why not? I tend to do everything opposite anyway, for no reason other than to be opposite. So
but
that's
hey, I mean, if it plays good, feel the neck feels good on your hands while you're playing. That's what matters. Because like you can hold a baseball bat and you're like, I can't play here. But if you get something like a thin neck, well, Stratocasters have different types, but like the thinner necks are like Ibanez. Some Schecters, ESP guitars, great, but it all depends. It all depends what kind of music you're
Welcome
planning
back to
to
Horse Talk,
play.
episode 6. After some technical difficulties, so Demetri, thanks for hanging in there. Sorry about my technology failing, but that's what you get when you do a live podcast. Everything goes to shit, right?
Hey, things happen, and we'll go ahead and truck on and get it going.
So what do I do next? Do I go to the place that replaced my iPad battery and tell them they owe me a new iPad?
Pretty much. Yeah, we're like, yo, Apple, you're $1 billion company. Well, more than that. Just give me one. But they, of
Yeah.
course.
This is like the local little store, and then they did such a good job with it so quick. Well, I thought they did.
Mhm.
I was like, hey, you want to fix this switch as well? Because I got a switch I can't get to turn on. And then I went pick it up today. They're like, oh, I just needed a battery. I was like, oh, well, I could have probably did that myself. I thought there was something
Yeah,
wrong
right.
with it. So we were talking about whatnot, starting to get into whatnot a little bit, and your experiences buying and selling. How's it been for you? And what's next?
All right, yeah. So I'll start over with it will be easier for the video. Um, I got on Whatnot about 3 years ago. Not about, but 3 years ago, about a month. So yeah, so over 3 years now. Um, First experiences were it was all um mystery streams. All the mystery streams were crazy. There was like free. There like the shipping was like nothing. It was just nuts. Everybody and anybody was on streaming anything if you know what I'm talking about. And that's not even the girl that was on last year doing some things. But like anyway, but the mystery streams, I got hooked on that. And I'm like, oh, I can win it. And then I'm like, because I at first I used my credit card. I don't want to use my I don't so I learned real quick not to use the credit card. So I don't use so for anything since the end of like near October of 22, I have not used a credit card. Everything's been straight cash. Because that gets dangerous, and then that way it's better for me to like financially. Hey, mortgage, electric, keep your shit together. So I was like, so ever since then, there's been some great sellers on here. I've been buying from G&T since the beginning. I've been, in the beginning, I actually bought from Popular Opinion. Of course, this format has changed way. It like did a whole entire 180. But back then he was doing retro stuff, and I really liked him at the time. He's still a good guy, but I know you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, opinions are opinions. No pun intended. um, but ever since then, some great sellers. Since then, I have my favorites. I have the people that I trust on here with packaging and anything that I get. Like I never had an issue. There's been quite a few, but with the buying end, I never really had any. I was never discouraged from buying on Whatnot. But buying like good sellers on here. You got She-Fly, how you doing? But there's been some great sellers on here. Like she sells awesome vinyl, so I check the vinyl out sometimes. I go in there here and there. I picked up some nice pieces there, but for games, obviously there's Chase. Atomic has the cleanest shit on the face of the earth on Whatnot. He always goes and gets the nicest stuff. I mean, dude, I've literally upgraded my collection just from him. I mean, up here, I would say like, which one did I get that as an upgrade from him? Manhattan Project.
Did you realize that they were all fake?
Yeah, they're all fake. I mean, they're all fake games. I mean, I don't know what to do now.
Dude, I was looking back through them. I'm like, damn, I can't even tell that these are fake.
Man,
they're so real that they don't even seem fake.
Yeah, he is the best and worst seller on the face of the earth. I mean, like, he's the scummiest scum who sells the best fake games.
Yeah, it was funny. I was putting in the chat on the previous show that that guy hates Atomic so much that he even messaged me and sent me like a paragraph about all the fakes that he got, and he's like, I have 30,000 followers. I'm like, what does that have to do with fake games? I'm just asking. I don't know what it has to do with it, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So chat, you're always welcome to trash anybody that you want in here. Thrifted might kick you out though. He's a pretty tough dude.
Yeah, Thrifton might not seem at first, but he'll go. Yeah, he'll definitely do that. But yeah, but even in Atomic Stream, we got Vikes fan. He's our number one bouncer. Any issues, he's out. But I see Moose Knuckles. Yeah, but going back with the sellers on Whatnot, like you just came up this year and like you have great stuff. You're constantly selling. You're constantly, hey, like I'll make a deal. We've done some things. I bought some stuff from you. You bought stuff from me. Like I've bought quite a few. Quite a few people in the chat. Like I bought from them. I've never had a problem with them. But Whatnot. In the beginning of Whatnot, when I was buying on here, it was different for me because it was just like me and my couple buddies that we collected because I've been collecting since the late 90s. At least that's when I figured that, oh wait, I kind of am collecting now. Because like I was picking up Nintendo games for $2 at Electronic Boutique back in the day. And of course PS1 later on, but I didn't even know until like 2008, 2009. I started like a game store like open, and I was like, oh, I want to check it out. And I was like, and then things on YouTube started popping up, and some of the like Angry Video Game Nerd, like he's on there. He's been on there for 100 years now, but that's one of the first guys I saw on YouTube. And then like after that, I was like, huh, I guess it's getting more popular now because it wasn't really a thing to do with video games, because video games to me has like the stigma, like, oh, you just collect, oh, you just oh, these nerds buy the paper, it's nonsense, I just want to play the game, or oh, you just stare at the game, what the hell are you going to do with the game? You can collect whichever way you want to collect, and when you do that, have fun. If you do it for an investment, make good investments. But that's just my opinion. But for me, as a gamer, I've always played games. I've been playing games since, I wish I found that picture of me playing my original Nintendo sitting there. My mom took it, and I was playing like Donkey Kong or something. But ever since Atari, I've been playing video games since the mid '80s. But um, but I've never stopped playing games. I had like some periods where I just didn't play consoles and I was just playing straight up PC games because so many great PC games are out. Like I started with Myst in the '90s and like to The Witcher in the 2000s. So like I never stopped playing games to today. I'm 43 years old, still playing games. But it's for me, it's like I need to keep my brain going because like I already do a lot as it is with work, with my clients. I'm going out here, I'm going there. I have my kid I got to take care of. I'm doing all these things, right? But then when I finally get the chance to sit down, I'm playing, because like I work for myself. I've been in my own business. I've been a business owner since I was 23 years old. So like I've had the time to play at night when I have the chance. So I've never stopped. But the collecting thing, um, it just happened. I collected all these PlayStation games. Eventually, had over 200 some freaking PlayStation games, all the good ones too, like Alundra, Ghost in the Shell, um, all the clock towers. I had them all. So all the things that I had, like they were expensive, but they weren't expensive at the time. They were like $10, whatever. But I was always into the hard genre. But like, but eventually that collecting bought my house. I sold the majority of my Nintendo, not all the Nintendo stuff, like that Rob. I don't. You could see it in the corner, like that Rob. Where's my hand? I got that at a flea market in 2004, and I've had it ever since. The Power Glove I've had since I was 8 years old. I got that for Christmas in 1990. Um, there's some things here from my childhood, but not everything. A lot of it has now, like my original games are over there, like in the corner. So I have my original stuff. I have, man, I just, but those things I'll never sell. I'll never sell it. I'll they'll be I'll be long gone and they'll be there. Of course, then my family will take over.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get dark or anything. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much that. Like I love it. I love doing this shit. I love looking at like I'm the type of person who loves to read. I love reading instructions. Like I actually am more interested in this stuff, the paper gold. So there's like stuff like this. So that's the stuff I'm actually more interested in that. I'm interested in the accessories. I'm more interested in like the books, like this, dude. Some seller on here had this. It's not just the regular comics. It's all the comics in one book. So for this one, I saw it. I was like $35. I picked it up. I'm like, dude, I'm down. So I read it. I actually read it. I don't just look at it. Like I don't just put it there. I already went through it. And I still have a few of those comics put away. Of course, I still have like the comics that I collected years ago. So I still have that in a different spot. But
Yeah, it's interesting what you said about the judgment. Like there is some judgment out there, or people that kind of look at it as like, what's your deal? Are you a reseller? Are you the collector? Are you like you the game player? And all these identities, and I started buying stuff like crazy. I just bought. I was like, man, it's cool. I got it in. Every time I got something in, I was excited to open the box. And still that way for the most part. Just hope to not get as many boxes now that I have some stuff. But originally just get my original stuff back was really exciting. Yeah, I probably had, I don't know, 50, 60 games, but there was really like 3 or 4 games that I just had to have. Um, and it was a lot of fun and all that stuff. But yeah, I feel it a little bit too. I think Whatnots, it can be intimidating coming in as a seller for sure. Especially a person like me that hasn't been around it for a long time. I was really into it when I was a kid and a teenager until about, I guess, like 14, 15 years old, and loved it. I used to buy all the strategy guides, and like I'd read every every single thing of what to do. I'd play the game while I'm reading it on certain games, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed that. But coming back in, I think it was very approachable as a buyer because you just swipe and then the stuff shows up.
Yeah.
But the moment I started selling, and then there's folks coming in that I knew were sellers as well, it's a little intimidating, like if you don't have the knowledge or you don't really know much about it. Even when I started back up, I didn't know what CIB meant when I went into rooms, and take the time to learn. I go Google it, like what the hell is CIB, and it obviously wasn't video game related. So then I had to put what is CIB in video games, and I've enjoyed the learning part of it. I can see why it's so intimidating. And I think the biggest thing, as long as you're not trying to represent yourself as a person that knows all this stuff, if you don't, I think it's fine. But it's definitely a little bit nerve wracking coming on.
Yeah. Like for me, I wasn't talking about a lot of things in the beginning because I had to make relationships with people on here. So I wasn't really, oh, I know this, I know that. I don't do that. I just say, well, that is not correct. Or if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. There's 1,000 things that, a lot of the guys I'm friends with, including you or whoever, dude, there's things that I get stumped on. Like I had to ask Tom, like, what goes in that Jetsons instead of that, because I have that US 5 Taito poster that's in there. That's like a $200 poster. I mean, it could go for that much, but that poster is ridiculous. But I wasn't, because I had conflicting data from my own Excel sheets and what's online and word of mouth, and I was like, so I had to ask him. I don't know every single thing, so that's where I'm humble. I'm not a person who's like, I know everything. I will never be that. For me, I'm always open. I listen. I take that knowledge. I might not listen to what your advice is all the time. That's just me. But I do take that into consideration. I kind of work with that. At least like with the, because like even in business, for me as a photographer, and I deal with people every day, like every single day. I do 2 to 3 shoots every day. I used to do more when the market was skyrocketing a few years ago, but it teaches you how to respect your client. Even if they're wrong, you have to acknowledge that I understand, but let's see if we can do the way you want, and let's see if it comes out. If it doesn't come out, we'll go back to whatever you like. So there's kind of like that thing. Even with selling, like selling on here, it gets nerve wracking because like when I first started, I was selling in the beginning of 2023. Everybody that I was talking to, like Frack was there. Frack was one of the first people that I became friends with. Then it was with Monster. Rest in peace, because he passed away last year of a horrible pancreatic cancer. But those guys in the beginning were like the dope guys. Like that's cool. So they all showed up. They all supported, and yeah, I was nervous. Shit, I was so nervous. Like I can play guitar in front of 100 people, be okay, but I couldn't do this. I was like, oh. Yeah. But yeah, Monster was a great dude. Cool shit, dude. Man, it sucks. Yeah, I can go on a different path, but just gotta keep on going, and but yeah.
Yeah, man. All good. Sounds like he was a great guy, for sure. And it's funny you mentioned Frack. I call him Horse Frack. See him in all the shows. It's fun having the community of people, even people that you've talked to, you haven't talked to in person. It is nice to get people face to face on the old Horse Talk here, just to, I guess, build another layer. It's good when you can see somebody's face every now and then. But if not, too, that's not the end of the world either. I feel like I know some of these guys pretty well based on watching them buy things daily, watching what they comment on all day. And
remember when you buy stuff, people take a note.
Oh yeah,
because I've come in streams before. They're like, "Oh, Demetri's here. Oh, there goes that," or or something, like or something or another, and I'm like, I'm not buying anything, dude. I'm not. Go ahead. And if I want something really bad on here, you're gonna see me like you're gonna see the really quick in the auctions, like really like hit that swipe or I don't even do the swipe. Like after $10, I know it's gonna Whatnot loves to kind of scam you in a way of adding more bucks to that. So for buyers out there, do the custom bids. Custom bids will save you a dollar here, $2 there, $4 there, $10 when you get to $300. It'll be like, oh, swipe $20 extra because you got in the heat of the moment. So you got to control that. Custom bids. That's where I live. So I see, but
That's true too. When I
yeah,
every time I do a custom bid, I think about it. It's like, okay, say it's a $15 item, you're willing to pay 20, whatever. Do the custom bid for 20 because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, somebody else is going to bid the 16, 17, 18, 19, and it may as well be my bid because it's going to be $1 less each time if I do the custom bid. So,
yeah, custom bids like like comments have saved me for a few times. I mean, like even me just like, hey, that's not complete. Like you're missing something. The game is incorrect or something. Like just say, I don't really do that with black boxes because I really need to see the black box Nintendo games because you can look at circle seals and oval seals and whatever. But when you look at a Super Mario Bros. Like we were looking at that one time,
yep.
there's 16 prints for Super Mario Bros. 16. How in the hell are you going to, like, you're going to look at a game real quick and be like, let me just pull this one for example. Yeah, here's Super Mario Bros. $300 on price charting. Here it goes.
Right.
All right, now bid. How do you know what you're getting? You don't know what you're getting. I don't even, dude. I can't even. And I spot them out like when someone like Chase when they kind of lay it there in front of you. I do a lot of zooming up, pixel peeping to look. But man, it's tough when they go that fast. You can't really tell. So I just don't bid. Corner torn, yeah, all kinds of things.
Heard that. I need to clone some things here now that I'm thinking about it. You brought up a point there because we're gonna run a first print balloon fight tonight. So that's
Nice.
going to be some fun. And, I could see where the sticker was originally on it. Obviously, it's got an unpunched hang tab, which is pretty cool overall. But, yeah, it was interesting. I got it in, and I saw it, and I was like, man, I don't know if that's, like, the gloss sticker, because the sticker's not there anymore. Like, was it a gloss sticker? Was it not? So I sent Atomic a text. I'm like, hey, what can you tell me about this? I always send it to one of you guys because I'm not pretending to know all this. And then I hit Pawn up later and I'm like, Pawn, how do I know if it's a test print manual? Right. And then we were looking at the some of the address things on the back and things like that. So it was fun though. Like that's what I like about games, and that's what I think is pretty interesting. Now I don't necessarily search the stuff out, but I've had a few in the last month or so kind of land on the doorstep, and I'm like, this is interesting. Like this seems like it's a bit more than what I thought it was. Like the Mario, that was like a 8-second auction. Yeah. And I just swiped, I think I custom bid like $200 on it, and it went for like 100, I don't know, 125, something like that. It wasn't a whole lot. And then I got it in. I'm like, oh, this thing's beat to hell. This is going to be a terrible.
Yeah, showed me, and then I was looking at it. I was like, well, that's kind of early.
Yeah. And what did it turn out to be? It was was it a second print, I think, or something like that? I don't know. It was pretty early, but
yeah,
it sold for $430 something on auction, which was fantastic. But I had no idea, to be honest. It just, I think the thrill of the auction got me on that one.
Yeah, because sometimes you win, sometimes you can get a deal, and there's stuff that I picked up that no one had a clue on. I was like, I ain't saying nothing. But when I get it, that's when I talk about it. So like during that time, like there's some things, that's the only time when I don't really help anyone.
Yeah.
As any collector, Atomic knows. Like, dude, if he sees something out in the wild, he ain't gonna tell his neighbor. He ain't gonna tell that guy. He's gonna go get it. And then whatever. That's it. Yeah, just shut your mouth. I mean, we were in a stream. Can't tell you, but some deals were made. That's all I gotta say. It felt like an pre-pandemic a little bit. I was like, man, thank God, finally. or I'm not getting outbid because of some new guy with a credit card limit of $50,000 got his black Amex going on. And I'm like, I'm not using credit. I'm just using cash.
Right.
So it's like, you do you. I'll use my credit card for my house when I need a new refrigerator or, oh, my washing machine broke. Actually, I have to get one. That's still a thing. So exactly. So I have to get, that's another thing I got to do. That's so annoying. I hate washing dishes.
Heard that. Yeah, get you a new dishwasher. You had mentioned a paper earlier, and you kind of flashed a Capcom. I saw a Capcom poster. It looked like
Right.
from there. So like, obviously, you like to read the stuff. You talked about reading and reading through the manuals and all that kind of stuff. Is that kind of what got your love for paper going, or was it kind of trying to find and really complete things to 100%? I guess what ignited the passion for paper?
Because I love the complete stuff. When I first got on Whatnot, they were like, "This is complete," and I'm like, "It's not complete. There's a bag, there's paper, there's advertisements." I'm like, "That's not complete to me. It has to be 100%." Now, not my whole entire collection is 100%. The majority of it is, and like I have original bags just chilling here that I have to fill. There's a lot in here. There's like 30 in here. This little, this is money right here. But I'm not trying to flaunt that. But I have it when I have all the paperwork. That's when I put the bag in, because that way I can seal it up. Done. I'm done with it. The game's clean. All the paperwork, all the boxes are clean. But with going with paper, it's interesting because there's a lot of variance. The black box stuff, I kind of don't really look into the black box stuff because there's a lot to learn and it's confusing because you have to be careful what you're buying. Now, if you get a first print matte sticker seal, it's easy. You look for an 85 poster, manual, that's it. But when it gets later in the runs, like Capcom, you have the poster. You have, hold on, let me get this pile out. I'm just going to use these as examples. You know, you have a poster. You have this. You have another thing. You have, I mean, Capcom went crazy. Then you have a reg card. I mean, you have the whole entire, there's like, you know, you have Final Fantasy, and that's like a 90-page freaking book. But then you have games like Mega Man, you have 7 inserts, or, you know, whatever. It just, it gets crazy. So like, so for Capcom, I look at, you know, Netto, the user Netto on Whatnot, if anybody doesn't know. I trust that guy with anything Capcom, even though I might know most of it, but he's fresh on it. So if the guy is fresh on the paper for Capcom, I ask him, because I just completed Gargoyles 2 on NES. I had the paperwork already, but I just needed like one more thing. But I asked him just to confirm that's what goes in Gargoyles 2. So, but my interest is more with that sort of thing, with completing 100%, because that's CIB to me. And you know, it's like, I think that's like the next level of collecting for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. Like those three. Well, even TurboGrafx, but TurboGrafx is really hard to get the boxes and the foam for. But I can tell you that Nintendo is way cheaper to collect for than TurboGrafx or Saturn is like, you got the book, registers in there. Sometimes it depends on whatever it is. But for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, there's a lot of paper that you need to like kind of memorize. But even like as a business, if I were to sell, well, it's right here, so I'm going to use this as an example. If I'm going to sell Barbie, I'm not going to sell the inserts. I'm going to sell it CIB. Book, cart, box. That's what you're getting. Because to me, no one really cares about it. A lot of people just price chart, and that's their line of like, that's how much I'm going to spend. So if I'm buying a game from Chase and has extra paperwork, I'm going to bid a couple extra. Like if something I see that I want, or if I see paperwork that I need, I'm going to bid on it and try to get that paper and then sell whatever I don't need. I'm kind of a thief when it comes to that. When I sell on here, so I'll take the stuff out of here and give you the rest. But but yeah, as a if this was business and trying to make money out of video games, I would take all that out. But for me, if I were just say I sold this tomorrow, if I sold everything tomorrow, which won't happen, but if I were to do that, I want to make sure I have my notes correct for every game with all the inserts and everything is logged in correctly before I do so, because that way I can put this game goes with, like just say this is so and so, this is X, and I'll have everything like in order, and then sell everything individually because that's money. It's a lot of money that you can make in a business.
Sometimes I ask people, I'm like, hey, you know what insert goes with this, or is this right or wrong? What's really interesting though is if you get on the Bay and you look up Contra, CIB, whatever, and you go look at like 10 of them, you're gonna get like 7 different sets of inserts in each of these, because like you don't know which one's right? But at least you can say, hey, if I see the same insert in 5 of the same ones, then maybe that is the right insert.
Yeah.
But I did that. I did that like a month ago, man. It was shocking at how different they were from one to the next to the next.
Yeah.
I mean, the different Konami poster in one of them, then the one that's got like the black lettering, and then there's the one that has like the gray outline, and I've seen them both, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't know which one's right.
Yeah.
So I told myself I was going to start writing this stuff down when I finally figured out one of them that's, hey, this one game is complete. Let me write it down, because odds are that game's going to come back through here at some point. But I always ask is like, hey, you got a notebook? But you remember my Zelda, right? I sent you the text on the Zelda. I'm like, hey, dude, I was like, I'm just curious. I don't know which print my Zelda is, the one I actually got. And we ended up figuring out it was third print, but I think my cart was a fourth print.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Manny was funny because you're like, hey, send me a picture of the front and the back. And then it was like, hey, send me a picture of page 3. Hey, send me a picture of page 9, but the inside lettering only. And I'm like, holy shit.
Zelda is the one manual where you need to look at most of the pages. It's just how it is. They had 9 prints, and that doesn't include Canadian stuff. Canadian is another thing because they have sticker seals on their games. So, but for Zelda, you got 9 prints. You got the first print, got trademark and trademark. My Zelda's not accessible right now, but I'm not gonna pull it up. But Zelda first print, you got trademark on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Sorry, and then you have trademark on Zelda. So, but then you get the second print, it's registered and trademark. So but it's still a five screw. So, and then it's not a cassette manual. So there's all these little things. And then it goes on from there. And then the manuals you got to look for, because then the manuals matter. Then it has to say made in Japan, and then not say anything at all. It gives you a headache at first, especially when you're first started learning about this stuff. Like this stuff, it gets overwhelming. It does. So if you were trying to learn, I guess for the game cabin, it's like, okay, so if I'm selling this game, this X game, this game I need to know more information about, because this game makes me money. People always want it. People always ask for it. So maybe if I learn about this one particular game, I can really hone in on my audience. I guess. I mean, that's how I would do it. But
I love it. I think it's really cool. I think you're right though, man. It's a really interesting point you made about people, and look, this doesn't apply to all streams, but it does apply to the majority of them and whatnot. People are just on that price charting, and they're literally looking it up while you're about to run it. And that bid is not to exceed that number. I've seen it. I've seen it in my own streams. I've done it,
I've seen it in mine.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it, but it's interesting too that, the buyers that know about the paperwork definitely will throw that price charting out the window, which I think it makes sense. And the people that don't see zero value in it. So you're kind of hoping that you have buyers that know what they're looking for, and a mix of people that maybe are just getting into it as well. But I never thought about that. Like I've got a couple CIB games right now that have like one PMG insert in them, and I'm like, well, my take on it originally was, well, that's going to add a little bit of value. But you're right. To the majority of people, with it not being truly 100% complete, does it really add any value? Or am I just giving this PMG away for free?
Yeah, sort of. It's like yes and no, because pricing these games is very difficult because you have to look at condition, you have to go on eBay, you have to look at current solds, you got to look at the condition that they actually sold it for, not price. You got to look at the condition. The condition is what's going to make me as a buyer buy Contra for Genesis. Because the Contra I have, I finally got that game because that was my cousin's game that we played all the time. We played Contra Hardcore every day when it came out. After it came out, we beat the shit out of it, but we still couldn't beat Super C. But we beat that game. Couldn't beat that game, but like that game, I paid up for because it was clean. Number one, two, I had the game specific registration card. It says this game is for Contra Hardcore, whatever. Every Konami game for Genesis pretty much has that, like that. Like the Tiny Toons, Castlevania's game specific, so they're easy to point out. But if it's like a Nintendo one, you have to you got to look it up. You got to ask people. You got that. So that's basically just word of mouth. Like that's from 25 plus years of doing this over and over and over. You kind of get a gist of what goes in what, but it's not always correct. The only real way to find out if you want 100% knowledge, of course, we all know these things, but there's, I have a sealed Little Mermaid, and my friend Neto on here is like, don't open it. Because I'm like, it's for science. No, don't open. I already know what it goes. So I'm like, okay, dude, okay, I get the point. I won't open it. But it kills me that I can't play that game because I play my games. I don't just stare at them. Like I played all these, dude. When I like my Castlevania 5 screw, I've had that for 100 years. I've had it since I was I was like 13, 14 years old. I had that game. I got it for a couple bucks. And what do you know? Atomic had the hang tab first print box for Castlevania. I picked that shit up. And thank you, Vine, for not bidding me up on that because it was a long journey to even get that. You don't even know. But I appreciate that. And again, like there are so many, like again, like with that, the camaraderie, like if I know someone wants that game, I'm not gonna bid. I'm not that kind of person. Um, if someone if someone messages like, hey man, I'm really looking forward to getting that game, like, all you, dude, all you, because I can get it on the next one. There's always another one. They made millions of copies of these games. It just takes a lot of patience.
Man, I struggled with that concept the first like 4 or 5 months that there would always be another one coming. I just didn't believe it. I'm like, I'm never gonna see it again. I got to get it right now. I'm gonna pay any amount to get it. And then, dude, I was digging through the other day, and I was kind of putting the Castlevania stuff. Like, I like Castlevania, I like Contra. I feel like that's when me and you started chatting a lot more when I was playing that Castlevania 3, and it was just quite an experience. But look, that
You
game is
didn't use the other
meaningful to me
character.
now. Dude, I mean, it's literally meaningful to me now to look at Dracula's Curse, because
Yeah.
I spent, what, 3 months, I think, playing that thing once a week on live stream, nonetheless,
At late at
dying,
night, and we were like,
dying, yeah, and just going at it till we finally got it. And I remember the day we beat it, and it was like, man, now what am I going to do with my life? And then the Mega Man X, you put me on, I think, Mega Man X as well, or everybody voted for it, and that was a great game. I really enjoyed that.
One of my all-time favorite games. One of the games that I put one of the most hours into. It was perfecting it. Like, but yeah, that Dracula's Curse, dude. Like, you didn't even use the other characters. You did it on a out of 10 scale. You did it on a 20 out of 10 scale. You went so difficult, and you made your life miserable for 3 months to beat that game. But you did it Buster Buster only, or chain only.
Yeah, I was gonna say Buster only. I didn't use the other character. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've kind of always been like that with even the Mega Man games and stuff too. I don't like to use the boss weapons unless I have to, even though I know you can. And I think X requires you to use it in certain situations. So I did. And look, dude, I still haven't beat X2. I had to give it a break, to be honest, because I got through X2, I think, in about 2.5 weeks to like the final boss, which is like 3 bosses in a row, you know. And I made the mistake of watching a YouTube video of somebody beating it just to see how to even do it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of lost its luster, and I was like, man, I just played X, and I don't know. I just put it away for a while, so I'm gonna pick it back up probably around Christmas time is what I'm thinking. But I'll I'll probably
Backlog.
just beat that one in the house. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun though. I haven't really found a game since then that I've been
Like
super into. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing Super Street Fighter the other night, and I turned the difficulty up to 10 on the Super Nintendo Super Street Fighter. Don't do that.
Good night.
Don't do that at all.
Now
So
you got it. You have to have every single like move perfect. Like every single combo like perfect to play like that. That's almost impossible. It's difficult. Very difficult.
it
So
was. I mean, I think I beat the first guy, and I was like, "Oh, I got this," and then I got completely demolished like 10 times in a row. So I turned it down. I think we did it at 7 stars, and we beat it. But dude, I didn't get off Whatnot till 3 in the morning. That was like last week, and then I also was playing Mortal Kombat 2 for the SNES, and I only played this on Genesis, and I don't know if it's just me not playing it for 30 years or what the deal is. But Mortal Kombat 2 on Super Nintendo is hard. It
yeah.
was hard. And I still hadn't beat it. And then somebody bought it yesterday in my stream, so now I don't even have it. So I guess it's gone. It won't be the last time it's here, I'm sure. But I was a little sad to see it go. I was like, man, I didn't beat it. Like I usually like sit down and play it until
Yeah.
it's gone. But somebody bought it this morning. Actually, they bought that and a Golf Manny for NES of all things. How do those two things go together? I don't know, but. Cool. Yeah, and I'm gonna do an auction tonight, man. So a couple other things, and we'll wrap it up because I know some people are waiting on auctions as well. You spent a lot of time on Whatnot. You spent 25 years with games, etc. You know, what do you want to see change on Whatnot? Like, what's something you would change? I'm not necessarily even just like the software or whatever, but like, what do you want to see change?
I want people to be more truthful in what they're selling. I want people to just be honest. Like when I sell games, it's not that many. Like I've sold 1,500 things in 2 years because I mostly just sell my own stuff. I just want people to like, hey, let me pull this one down. I want to grab this again. Like,
Sure.
If you're showing a game, please show like, especially if you're just doing like slow auctions. Like if we're doing CIBs, we're taking our time, we're just relaxing, chilling, right? Take your time, show the angle, show whatever, just let the buyer know what they're getting. That's the only that I would just want more sellers to do that. Stop selling real fake games, as we were joking earlier.
Yeah.
Not to sell cardboard that's made from Etsy. I was in a stream and they were selling a Darkwing Duck, trying to sell at $200+ and it was a fake box, completely fake. I don't like mystery streams, but I can tell you that TMNT, I have a couple people that witnessed that TMNT tournament fighters. I got that for $8 in a mystery stream.
Damn.
I got Ninja Gaiden CIB with the plastic wrap on it, $14. But with shipping and taxes, it came out to like $37. Dude, $300 worth of games, dude. But that was at a hunch. I was like, you know what? No one's bidding. Like it wasn't like it was an old school carts and games. No one was really bidding on the auctions. I was like, you know what? Let me put $10 max and see what happens, bro. Because like when the wheel spun and it said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, the fuck? and I was like, I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, TF tournament fighters. I was like, whoa, like, bro. I was like, this is a once in a lifetime thing where you get an expensive game for that. So that happened, but Mystery streams, I'm not. Whatever. It depends what you got. Like tomorrow. What is tomorrow or tonight? The Capcom
Next week.
next week. See, like for you, the Capcom, I think it's good. I know there's a lot of people like me with mystery streams, but you're running good games. If you're running good games in mystery streams, it keeps the attention. Like, hey, listen, you have a certain price point. You're running good Capcom games. It's kind of worth it. It's like if a buyer comes in here and they don't have those games and they want those games, it's perfect. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an intention to do it. I just saw a bunch of purple games, and I'm like, what am I doing with all these purple games? And I could just sell them one by one for sure. And look, man, I might not even sell them all. So there's that too, because there's 15 of them, and
True.
I'm gonna have to roll the wheel regardless at some point. I'll probably do like 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. If we don't sell out quickly. But that's next Friday we got 15 purple CIB games, and some of these things are pretty expensive, and some of them, I think even the lows are in the 50s.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. I don't know. It could be a terrible decision. I might hate mystery streams as much as you guys after this, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
mean, hey, if it works out, good luck with it because you see that's another thing with selling on here. You got to keep it exciting, but
Mhm.
I know for me, I'm not perfect at all. Okay, I do my best. I try to have something, but man, sometimes I do the collectors. Hey, games, I'm here for you. I'm staring at you for at least 1 hour a night. I'm here for you. The collector's gaze, like they just look at their collection.
Yeah.
But like, man, I forgot what was going on with that. But if I sometimes I look at my stuff, I'm like, man, if I sold all these games in one auction, everybody will go crazy. It would go nuts. I would probably have 100 people in the room if I was selling all that stuff because like all this stuff is clean. Um, there's a few like rough ones, but I'm okay with those. Black box, look, my stack up isn't perfect, but it's one of the best condition ones I've seen around for a long time. I got that at a flea market for like nothing, 20 plus years ago. It doesn't have the sticker seal. Um, you could kind of see it in the light a little bit, but overall, it's still in really nice shape. It is an expensive game. Still has the hang tab unpunched. There's a mark here, but other than that, it's fully complete. Got the bags, got the 85 poster in there, the 85 Rob poster. Dude, it's still there.
You just don't see that. Like it's.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even seen one on Whatnot at all. There's a guy I know that I buy some games from, undisclosed person, and he's got a sealed stack up, and it's.
Oh,
I think he's asking like 14,000 for it, or 10,000, 14,000. I don't know, something crazy.
yeah.
And I was like, I'd never even seen this game before. So I say that a lot, and a lot of people's streams are like, never seen that before. And but I like
Mm-hmm.
that though. Like I saw Thrifton did a game tonight I never seen before. It was a helicopter game. I can't even remember what the name of it was, but it was cool, and it had a nice poster too. And I'm like, I'm bidding on that. I just like the poster. It'll go with all these other games that I just like the poster on. So
Yeah, Firehawk. You don't really see. I was about to ask like which game, but then Justin answered.
yeah, it looked pretty cool. I like Tiger Heli a lot, so I was kind of wondering if it had Tiger Heli vibes,
Mm-hmm.
playing it. But I've got lots of aspirations to play lots of games. I really do. Like I bid and buy games daily. I'm like, I'm gonna play that, and then I just buy another thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna play that, and then I just find myself playing Contra over and over and over, just the regular Contra.
But
So
that's how it is.
yeah,
You like over the time I've known you, like Contra's your game. Like that's your go-to. Like, all right, I'm just gonna play for like 10 minutes and warm up my brain and whatever. For me, I'll just pop in Mario 3. I said Mario, get over it, people, from the East Coast. But anyway, I'll pop that in and it just gets my brain going. And that before I play something, but not all the time. Yeah.
Mario.
But like But playing games like recently, like what games are you like? Well, let me ask you, like, what game do you want to play? Like any, like modern, old, whatever. Like, what is like the number one, I guess, game that you like you want to play? Like, I know it's in the backlog now, but like the one that you really want to.
Let me think. Let me think. Because I've bought a few of them recently, and I have them sitting on top of shelf. That's why I'm looking over here. I'm trying to look at the shelf, and man, I think it's actually going to be like that Zelda 2 homebrew that I bought, the
Mm-hmm.
one that's like impossible. Now I did play it for like 10 minutes, and it was stupid hard.
Right.
But if I had like 8 hours, like just 8 hours of free time, I would probably try to play that thing.
Yeah.
So, and it could be a terrible game. I don't know, but it's like a new version of Zelda 2, and I love some Zelda 2, so that would be the one right now for me.
Yeah, I gotta check that. You just send me a picture. I want to see which, because there's so many little brews of Zelda. Like, even on Super Nintendo, it's different. There's so many different other ones.
Yeah,
But
and
like,
then we got a Mega Man game here. This is not one that I want to play, but there's a Mega Man one that you're playing the Mario courses, but you're Mega Man.
mm-hmm.
So, like the first level, you're playing Mario 1 as Mega Man. So it's pretty weird, man.
They're fun, dude. I mean, those. I have Castlevania homebrews. I have Mario homebrews. The Mario Venture one. That's people are trying to sell online for like $150. I'm like, you can make your own and download the ROM and whatever. It's so easy. I put the one on my EverDrive here. Yeah, I use EverDrive and emulators. Although I do collect. I do that because it's easier. It's easier for me, just like because like if I want to play my NES, I have to be on. I have to be in the basement. Sometimes I can't be in the basement because I got to be with my family or like not be with my family. It's like punishment. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
Matt, I'm talking to you. You know, yep. We joked about that, but like when I just want to play on the couch, be comfortable. The emulator's there, PS5's there, the Switch is there. That's where I'm. That's where I'm more comfortable. But like,
Yeah, it's the I bought like a really souped up GBA a few weeks ago, and I brought it on that trip to Philadelphia with me. And I did bust it out a couple times, and I had that I bought the Contra GBA game, which is like the Super Nintendo remake, I guess, or
right.
just a port or whatever. And I, I wanted to play it really badly, and I did, but I could
Mm-hmm.
not get my hands comfortable on that GBA, and I kept
Was it
finding
the
myself
wide
trying
one
to
or
like hold. Yeah, I was
was
trying to like hold it up with my pinky finger. I don't know if y'all ever experienced this on like a GBA, and I was like, man, I put a lot of money in this GBA, but I think it's going to be more of a Tetris situation here, and then maybe I'll play the 3DS a little bit more. I wanted to go retro with all that stuff, but I mean, sometimes the Switch, just bring the Switch and then bring that Super Nintendo wireless controller. There ain't really nothing wrong with that either, especially on the
yeah,
go, like travel.
yeah. Travel wise, the Switch is great. It's awesome. I brought it on trips. I went to Florida with it recently, New Orleans with it. That was in 21 to New Orleans. That was the last. That was the last time I went to New Orleans. But yeah, the Switch is great. It's quick. You can play new games. You can have variety. You can download. You don't have to worry about carts or the games you got to keep on switching.
Right.
It's just easier. But for me, like I had the 3DS, I played that, but now I modded it. I have all the games. That's why I got rid of everything I own 3DS. So I don't collect anything 3DS. I modded. I got all the games.
Yeah, I
Not
got
not
one.
every single thing.
I have a similar. I don't. Mine's not modded, but I have the one cart that has everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if it has everything, but it has most of everything. I think it's got a couple 500, 600 games on it or something. But
Okay.
yeah, to go back to that question of what game do I want to play, I have started playing it on and off. And look, everybody's gonna shake their head because I haven't beat this game or played it a whole lot. Um, but Link to the Past,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm literally like in the first castle or dungeon or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed it. But I swear to God, every time I sit down to play it, like some kid is going to try to kill themselves on something. Either jumping off the countertops or slamming their fingers in the door or what. I don't know. I'm cursed with this game, so I think it might actually end up being the next one that goes on the little 13-inch TV in the cabin at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think that would also be a fun one for my guy Demetri to come in and tell me what to do next. So I enjoy that because I don't have to think; I just have to do, right?
Yeah,
So
you just got to do. You got to just as long as you know where to go on the map, you're fine.
and I
But
don't.
Link to the Past
So
is a great one to do on stream too, because it's a classic. It's aged well. It's one of the best games ever made. It's just flat out like one of the best ever. I remember I didn't even play it until about after high school because I didn't like you. I had the Genesis. My friends across the street they had the Super Nintendo, and me and my cousin we had Genesis because Genesis was cheaper. What did my parents do? Buy the cheapest. That's why I had a lot of Game Boy games because it was cheaper. A game was 15 to 25 bucks versus Nintendo 36, 45. But then eventually Genesis became $70 games. Like I had this one memory. I shared it in here and whatnot a while ago, but like I remember I remember when Sonic 3 came out. It was I got it for my birthday, so it was March of '94. I was afraid to ask my dad for Sonic 3 for my birthday because it was $70.
yeah,
But he's like, "Is that all you want?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, if that's the only thing you're getting, that's all you're gonna get." And I played the shit out of that game. I love Sonic, dude. I mean, the music is not just Sonic 3, but like Sonic 3 for that story, like one of the best games ever made. But that's a good game to play on stream too. But sometimes like if you're streaming, you kind of want to play like the obscure games, something that people haven't really seen. But like Link to the Past, great game. People would watch it because they love that game. You know.
yeah. I've never played Sonic 3, so I owned Sonic 2. That's what came with my Genesis bundle, and then I got Sonic and Knuckles. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I skipped over 3. I didn't even know there was a 3 until later on. So,
Mm-hmm.
and when I say later on, I mean like 30 years later on, not after that. And then I got a copy of it, and I'm like, damn, Sonic 3 is a $70 game. Like even today, it was a $70 CIB. So
Yeah.
I have it. So no, man, that's a good tip. I think I need to try it out. So.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Awesome, dude. Well, look, I know we got to do an auction here. I appreciate it. Sorry about all the technical difficulties earlier. I think we're going to trash the iPad, but it's been awesome talking to you, dude. I hope we have you on again. I'd love to keep the conversation going at some
Sure.
point.
I appreciate you asking me to come on. And I'll look forward to that the next podcast, and we'll talk more. We'll talk more in depth of particular paper and anything we want to talk about. I'm always good for that.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, you got it. Peace out.